Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock live, as we normally bring you the best of club rugby and the rest of Cape Town rugby. Hope you're having fun this week. It's been rough. If you've got a seatbelt, strap it on now. Just came from Peter de Villiers' book launched, Politically Incorrect. Well, the question in rugby at the moment is, what is politically correct? What's the right thing to do in South Africa if you're the Springbok coach? The Facebook comments have been coming in their droves. We're going to touch base on that a little bit later tonight. On the panel this evening, Herman Abrams, Jerome Parvater, and Morgan Newman. Hello, Mr. H.
Evening, JP.
Jerome?
Evening, JP.
You've been coaching out there with the clubs and the schools, eh?
Yeah, I've been at Bishop's this afternoon, JP.
Hey, you know, there you set me up. You set me up. Morgs, let's move straight to you.
How's it, chaps? Jerome was clearly at the right place this afternoon.
So. Fantastic. And the great news is everybody can hear us clearly this evening. Let's get straight into it so we can have less conversation about the mumbo jumbo and more conversation about, you know what we want to talk about. We want to talk about facilities, we want to talk about club development, and we want to talk about the selection of the Springbok squad. How far back did we go? Oh, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you, but it certainly seems that public consensus is that we have gone backwards. Let's go look at the Super 15 results now from the weekend that's gone by. There you have it, folks. The Bulls losing to the Stormers. Wow, who would have thought that one? A lot of people didn't predict that. Of course, the panel predicted it, having supported the Stormers at 100%. The Lions beating the Sharks. Oh, another shock defeat there, 38-28. The Waratahs losing to Hurricanes. The Blues, close one for them against the Chiefs. The Rebels losing to the Brumbies. And the Crusaders are 51 points to 18 against the Highlanders. Mr. H, let's start with you. Before we talk about the Stormers stuff here, the Lions beating the Sharks. I mean, 38-28.
Yeah, well, you know, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. But it just shows you. And I think it's great that they won that game, especially the Sharks.
Yeah.
Because the Stormers, I think, had already put that as 5 points in the bag.
Yeah.
Because everybody's beaten the Lions.
Yes, yes.
And now they've got a wake-up call and say, in 2 weeks' time, we better be, ready for the Lions.
Jerome, how does that happen, though? You go from being a great team, like the Sharks, the Lions, who basically have been pathetic all year long, and they turn it around on the day. Why is it? Why is it that a team can turn around? I mean, look at the Reds beating the Crusaders.
JP, for me, I think there's only one thing. It's the Lions are basically playing to survive, to stay in Super Rugby. So it just shows like what you can do if your life basically depends on a few games. And you know the story, if the Lions or Cheetahs between them,
yeah.
They're going to get relegated at the end of the season. In the Kings
do you think that's what it is? The Lions just stepped up on the day?
I just think that they just decided now, listen, we're going to give it a go. Might be our last chance this year playing Super Rugby. So we're going to give it everything. So I think they're going to come out firing now all the games. I
mean, quite frankly, if I had a player in my team who gave it all guns blazing finally at the end of the squad, I'd fire him. Because where were you for the rest of the season? Well, you only want to earn your paycheck now that you're potentially going to lose your job.
But that's how people are, JP. That's how it is. I think it's survival now.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Personally, I suppose one has to then be a better judge of character, because you want people who are going to give it 100% from the word go, not when their neck is on the line. Morgs?
Yeah, James, I don't know if I agree with Jerome, or it's just the fact that I think these local derbies are just, I don't think it's ever cut and dried, the result. And I think the Lions, the result on the weekend showed that it's never any easy playing against your neighbours, you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, these local derbies are definitely taking it out of the players, and just glad that there were nothing serious with injuries, because these often, that's often the case when you play these local derbies.
Other big result was, of course, the Crusaders beating the Highlanders 51 points to 18. Mr. H, I know you're a big Crusaders fan. Would you have expected such a big margin?
No, not really. Not really. And I think that must also be a wake-up call for a number of the other teams, that are trying to get to the finals.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll have to get past them somewhere along the line.
Well, we're going to take a look at the logs in a minute, but of course the big one for Western Province Rugby over the weekend was the Stormers, and that win against the Bulls in pink. Yeah, the Bulls in pink. The Bulls player. They want to make fun of people wearing pink. I mean, if you want to wear pink, go ahead, be my guest. We're not going to judge you. Your manliness, you're still a real man. even with horns and a bull ring over the nose, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Jerome, the Stormers basically beating the new Springbok team on their first game. The Spring Bulls, as they're now being called. People wrote the Stormers off a little bit beforehand, eh?
Yeah, I think, JP, that's why I think a lot of people were quite happy with the results of the Lions beating the Sharks. So it basically kept us, we'll still be in the mix if we lose against the Bulls. Because a lot of people thought that we're not going to make that game at Loftus. But as I said, I mean, there's no ways that you can lose against a team that play in pink. I hope the Springboks are not going to wear pink this week.
Well, you never know. You never know. They might sort of got attached to the colours. I'm sure the entire cupboard of the Springbok squad is now filled with pink. In fact, we know that. Right, folks, let's quickly take a look at those conference logs then. Who's on the top, who's on the bottom? How did we go? The Stormers are firmly on top in the South African conference. The Brumbies are leading the Australian conference. The New Zealand conference is led by the Chiefs. In the full conference log, we see the Chiefs. They are well on the lead there, leading the full conference, followed by the Stormers in second place, the Brumbies and the Crusaders. Right down at the bottom is the Blues, the Lions and the Force. So, yeah, there you go. Those are your teams. We are on Facebook right now, folks. If you've got any questions, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Jump on there, give us your comments. Now, the comments that came in during the course of the week was we asked you, were you unhappy about the Springbok selection? Were you happy with the Springbok selection? And we also asked you, well, you were maybe a little bit unhappy, but you wanted to see where it went to. Many people felt, though, that we had just gone back a number of years. We'll touch on that a little bit later. Of course, we've got a couple of great prizes up for grabs for you, starting off with the Evox Sports Nutrition Supplements. Evox, of course, the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the Stormers. And you can see why it is. Well, one of the reasons why it is that the Stormers managed to get from game to game and do so well. So let me just remind you what's up for grabs then this evening is, first of all, your Mega Grow. This is your tub of protein that you can get yourself through the week with, your recovery that gets you from game to game, and some creatine that will get you even more recovery and help you put on a little bit more mass. You want to win this rugby pack? Just SMS the word Evox, which is of course the official supplier to the DHL Stormers Western Province Rugby, to 33280. Keep your cell phones handy. A lot of great competitions coming up still tonight. 33280, that's the number, and just send the word Evox and you can put yourself in the mix to win this very basic rugby pack. Remember, club rugby players are of course sponsored through special rates with Western Province Rugby, so feel free to give the guys at Evox a call. Once again, the number for this SMS competition tonight, 33280, and that'll be the same number for the rest of the night. Let's take a look at last week's winner. Of course, there you go. It is, wow, who would have thought? Finally, Aksoli Apleni. Congratulations, Akolile. How do I pronounce that, guys? Akolile? I've got the lovely Sino Vuyo giving me the right spelling. And in fact, if you want to go and check out Sino's CD, you must listen to the local radio stations and watch CTV. Who is the official sports nutrition supplier at Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers? Just SMS your name and answer to 33280. Once again, congratulations to Akolile Apleni. And you win yourself a rugby pack. Let's get back to the show now. Time for us to take an ad break, and when we come back, it's time for Club Rugby, results, fixtures. Let's see how it went this weekend. It was a cracker. Back in a mo. All right, folks, welcome back to Club Rugby TV. It's time for us to take a look now at the Club Rugby results over the weekend. Let's start off with Super League A. Some great matches there. Of course, SK Warmers 23-12 over Belhar. Tygerberg beating False Bay, or at least losing to False Bay 34 points to 28. Jerome, let's talk to you. You're very involved with these guys. Morgs, you've played against these guys. SK Warmers, solid win for them over Belhar.
Yeah, I've been at that game, JP. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Always also a great field, atmosphere and field where they played it. They played behind the stadium, the new stadium, because they're currently working at SK's field. You know, in that park there, but it was a great, like, open atmosphere, great rugby, nice day. Yeah. So it was really a good game.
Tell me more about why do you say it was great rugby? What made it great rugby? Any players stand out for you?
Yeah, players. They weren't scared to play at Belhar. They had Zana, the
Yeah.
fullback. He was quite good. At SK was Idris Arendse,
Yes.
who just played in the Vodacom Cup.
Right.
He had a great game. There was a
Well,
few
we don't-
guys.
we don't
No, there was a
expect it, yeah.
few guys with like really great game.
Great talent.
Defense was good, very hard. No incidents, no fight, nothing. Hard rugby, very good
So,
game.
I mean, these teams belong in Super League A.
No, definitely.
Well, that's
definitely.
fantastic. The other shock result, or at least not a shock result, but a tough result, was Tygerberg losing to False Bay, 34 points to 28. Tygerberg just a little bit on the back foot still. They can't quite get onto get the winning momentum back, Mr. H.
Yeah, but I have an idea that they will,
Bounce back?
bounce back in the second half. It's tough for them. It is tough. When you come up into Super League A, although they've been there before, they've been out of it for a year or two, so it's difficult.
You also have to start like recruiting players who want to play in Super League A. It's like you really are starting off from the back foot. It's a struggle then to come to Super League A and stay in Super League A because it's so hard to get there that if you don't make it in the first season, you're back to Super League B because 2 down again.
And you don't build a team within 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
It takes a while for that team to really perform together.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Super League B now, folks. Interesting results there. Brackenfell losing to Belleville, 21-15. Collegians losing to Peniel Villages, 25-14. Goodwood, it was a loss for them against Primrose. There's 2 great results, or at least interesting results. If we look at Collegians losing Peniel Villages. Jerome, Peniel Villages coming out and playing away from home, and Collegians haven't been playing bad rugby.
Yeah, that was also a big surprise this weekend because, I mean, Collegians beat Helderberg last week, which is also one of the top sides. And at Collegians, it's always difficult to go and win there. But I believe Pinel brought back their old players again for this game, which it worked for them.
Yeah. And of course, Brackenfell, as we say, and Goodwood, Primrose. Primrose also playing away. Playing against Goodwood, 43-16.
They've also, they started off well, a match that we went to go watch against Collegians.
Yeah.
Then they took a dip, but now they're back again.
But Primrose does look like they've got some solid structures in place at the moment. They've got some very physical players. I mean, they've got some guys that are looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, I think the coach there,
Herman?
Herman Masimla.
Herman Masimla, yeah.
He believes in, the proper things,
Discipline, etiquette,
Yeah,
structure, schedule.
And all the, the training and all that. So, no, it's good for them. It's very good for them.
All right. More Facebook comments coming in, folks. We're going to touch on those comments a little bit later. Throw them in for us there, and please feel free to tell us however you feel. www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. That's the Facebook address. Throw it at us. We'll see if we can answer it. We're going to try and keep it as reasonable and as neutral as possible. Let's look at the Premier League A and B results now. St George's going down to UWC, 35 points to 32. It was a loss for Paarl against Hamlets, while in Division 1, Strand United lost to Van der Stel. Hamadias, well, it was a 1-point difference for them, losing to Manenberg Rangers. And Rocklands, Wraithby. Rocklands, 20 and Wraithby, 13. We were at this game. What a great game. What a great field. We've been wondering about councillors, etc. Well, here's another field that we went to that looked pretty good. And what they've been very clever about at Rocklands is without stands, they've made the ground around Rocklands work for them. So there's natural grass embankments for fans to sit on. Let's check out the highlights now from that match between Rocklands and Wraithby. It was great being there.
Man, ek wil net een sê, was 'n spanpoging. En as weer vir ons bewys, Rocklands is groter as enige individual. Daai wat ek vir julle wil agterlaat. Ja, 3 vir rugby push. Yes, boys, 3 vir rugby. 3 vir JP. Rugby. Yes, rugby. Yes.
Moet net die moan nie, né? That's got to be one of the best lines, guys. Did you ever hear that, Morgs, when you were playing?
No, Chase, unfortunately never had the privilege of hearing that line while I was playing.
You can sort of imagine then that there must be a lot of concerns then of players voicing their opinion if things don't go with a score against you. But that was one of the better lines that I've heard, because I've heard a lot of swearing behind the poles. But Morgs, you were at the game with me. What did you make of it?
Yeah, James, as I was saying, I really thought it was good rugby. I mean, the conditions, the camera sort of doesn't adjust to the conditions, but it was quite windy out there close to the ocean. And the Oaks really, I mean, they ran the ball from everywhere. They sort of, you could see they're definitely trying to play some good, attractive rugby for the fans. And then again, the level of rugby was unbelievable. I mean, for Premier League B, I would never have said that. But yeah, I mean, lovely to watch, and yeah, I'm just glad I could get down there and see some quality rugby.
And they've got some skills in the backlines, both backlines.
Yeah, I mean, like we said on the day, we couldn't believe the way they were passing the ball in the wind. I mean, we go down to, when I was still training at the Stormers, we go down to Belleville and it's a little bit of wind, and the Oaks complain about, about passing the ball there. These Oaks live right next to the ocean, and they're throwing, 10, 20 meter passes, no problem, kicking the ball sort of.
What impressed me was that you stood behind the posts and the scrum half cleared the ball and the fly half managed to put it away under pressure. And your words to me at the time was, even a professional rugby, there's not a lot of guys that can do that.
Yeah, I mean, James, today, what we were talking about was that the guys, they often go for the safe option. I mean, they're all kicking this sort of, this, they call it, Afrikaans, they call it the gat or kop,
Yeah.
And these guys, I mean, on Saturday, they were kicking torpedoes from own goal line, under pressure kicking torpedoes, and professionals don't do that anymore. So it was just nice to see these Oaks, still sort of backing their ability and kicking torpedoes.
So before we get on with the the winning captain and coach from the teams, Jerome, the question has come in on Facebook here, and it's a kind of a difficult question. But why do we lack colour players in the Craven Week under 18 squad? I know that you're not the selector of the under 18 squad, but we got a fair question here from Andile James, who has posted this question. Is that something that you could comment on, or is that?
Yeah,
yep.
I was one of the selectors there. I helped him this year, and there's currently 10 players of colour in the team. So I don't know where he gets his info from.
Okay, Andile, there you have your answer. Andile's question specifically on Facebook, directed at Jerome, and we're not hiding from things. We ask these questions openly. Hey JP, I posted a question during the week for Jerome asking why don't we have colour players in the Craven Week under 18 squad for 2012, or why do we lack colour players? You say there's 10 players of colour in the Craven Week side. Okay, Andile, I hope that's answered your question, that you have the facts correct now. Folks, of course, we managed to catch up with the losing captain and coach of Rugby. Didn't go well for them, but smile's still there and lots of talent. Ryan, didn't go your way today, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't go our way. Rocklands put a lot of pressure on our backline, and they used their chances. and therefore they score a couple of tries, and our guys didn't use our chances and so on.
I noticed you guys had quite a strict chat there after the game, but you know, while I was watching this game, I was really impressed with some of the talent you've got in that team.
Yes, you know, we've got a couple of youngsters that we brought through, and we cut out some of the old branches and so on, but we're working on them, and they have some good talent and so.
Well, listen, we wish you guys the best of luck for the rest of the season, and I think with that talent you're going to do well.
Thank you.
Bevan, didn't quite go your way today, but you've got some amazing talent in the team.
Yeah, we brought up some of our young guys. Me personally, very disappointed in a few. Our defense lines wasn't up to standard, so yeah.
Do you think it makes a difference playing Rockland's home ground?
Yeah, they got home advantage. But we're waiting for them there at that side of the world.
Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck, and looking at the guys you got in that back line and the ball skills, the handling, yeah, you guys, I think you guys have got a good chance.
Okay, thank you, JP. Yeah, we do. Just gotta go back to the drawing board again. Sort out our defense lines and hands in the racks, and then we go get back and take a winning streak again.
100%. Well, best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, JP.
Well, folks, welcome back, and some more questions coming here on Facebook, and specifically now I'm going to ask Mr. H this question. Ravensmead Tygerberg Rugby Community posted this question. So this is from somebody at the Tygerberg Rugby Club. Mr. H, the question is, if our games was postponed against Hamilton's and Marty's, why are we losing our points to Marty's? Listen carefully. Can you answer
Game
that?
against Hamilton's, both clubs agreed, which is the prerequisite for a game to be moved or postponed.
Right.
Both clubs must agree.
Yep.
So Hamilton's match was moved, they didn't lose points, they played the game. The match against Marty's, there was no agreement that the match can be postponed.
Right.
So Tygerberg informed us that they will not pitch up because of injuries and other problems.
So basically, absent without leave.
They lose the points.
Okay, well, there you have it, folks. Whoever it is that posted that question under the Ravensmead Tygerberg Rugby Community, I hope there's your answer. There was no arrangement made. No arrangement made, that means no admin made. You lose the points. Is it as simple as that?
Simple as that.
Right, there you have your answers. Let's take a look at some of the rest of the, or at least let's catch up with the winning captain and coach of Rocklands. Selwyn, good win for you guys today.
Yes, it was a tough game today for us. Rugby is actually a tough team for us. Actually, but we was well prepared. We do our game, we stick to our game plan, and yes, we do it today.
So you said it's a biggie van 'n derby match?
Ja, actually, dat was een derby match. Kijk, rugby is een onbekende span voor ons. Ons is niet in die division. Maar ons het ons definitief voorbereid voor enige factoren wat voor ligt. So, ja, is het gemaakt?
Ja, het lijkt mij een lekker veld en het lijkt mij dat een paar nogal talented spelers daar in die span. So, het lijkt mij die seizoen kan net sterkte vorentoe gaan.
Ja, ons het jong spelers. Ons bouwen met jong spelers, zoals je kan zien. Het is jong mannen. Ja, alle kan ons nog ver vat, maar zoals ik zei, als harde werk op oefenveld met hulle. Als bij dingen wat we nog een plek moeten krijgen. Maar zoals ik zei, ons bouwen en ons gaat komen daar.
Luister zelf en alles de beste van je vorentoe en ik zeker dat het gaan goed gaan.
Dank je, JB.
Pat, winning captain today, you must be thrilled, huh?
All smiles. After last week, the guys showed some character coming back in the week and full steam ahead now, and we're here to stay in this division. Eh?
You look like you got a great spirit in the squad, eh?
Yeah, teamwork. It's all about teamwork,
Yeah.
team dynamics, and the guys play for each other. And as I said, we showed character coming back from last week, and full 4 points today. Pity we couldn't get the 5, but hopefully next week.
What's the way forward for you guys?
Practice, and hopefully getting a promotion to Premier League B.
Well, listen, I'm sure you're going to do pretty well. Best of luck.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, must say the guys at Rocklands definitely winning that game with a smile. We also managed to catch up with the guys from Rocklands Man of the Match, the Tata 1000 Man of the Match. Not often that you get to give away R1,000 to somebody at community level. Great stuff from Tata. Of course, you can SMS them on 32010. Just SMS the word Tata to 32010 and they'll tell you more about those vehicles that they've got. In the meantime, Ivan Lindner and his crew gave away R1,000 to the Man of the Match in that match between Rocklands and Wraithby. Let's see what happened. Tata, Man of the Match today is Keenan France. Keenan, 3 tries today. Hat-trick, you must be thrilled.
Hey, I'm over the moon.
Yeah?
Very excited. We had a hot knock last week, but we came back this week and we win it.
Is Rugby a tough team?
Yeah, they're tough. They gave us a tough first half, but second half was all ours.
But it looks to me that if they spread the ball wide, you get that ball in your hands, over you go.
Yes, Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. We've got 1,000 Rand for you, courtesy of Tata Wistenberg and Paul and Ivan Lindner for your performance today. And I'm going to ask your chairman, Johan Arends, to hand over the check. There you go. Congratulations. Johan, you must be happy with this kind of performance from young guys like this?
Yes, I'm very happy about this performance. We had lost last week and we came back this week and showed that we can play. I'm very happy with this win.
Well, you've got a fantastic setup here, great fans, great field, and I think you guys are doing a sterling job at Rocklands, and I'm thrilled to see it, and I'm sure our fans are going to be very excited to watch this.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah. We try to get the community here, and we just want to play rugby and be there for them.
No, once again, thank you very much. Keenan, and to you, well done. Enjoy the cash.
Will do. Will do. Thanks, eh?
Hey, you're man of the match. Fans love it, Morgs.
Yeah, Japes, they definitely came out in their droves, and yeah, it was a great atmosphere down in the field. Like you say, it's perfectly built, I think, for the guys to sit along the banks and support their team. And yeah, I mean, there's even a guy there who was hunting Mr. H and telling him Mr. H is the best looking man he's ever seen on TV. So to that gentleman out there, yeah, Mr. H, yeah, you have Mr. H again. I thought I must give him a mention.
He also mentioned a few other things.
Yes,
he mentioned a few other things that I think I won't repeat on live television.
And for a while there, you were also Mr. T. But it was lekker being out at Rocklands and Wraithby. Great crowd, everywhere so friendly. And they all know who we are and what we do. I mean, to the ladies at Wraithby, I rocked up there, they sang happy birthday to me. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It was fantastic. But Johan Arends is doing a great job there, Mr.
Yeah, he's a great administrator. He's been the manager of the Dizer team for a few years now.
Yeah.
They've always won the competition, so he knows all about winning and things like that.
Jerome Pat van der Westhuizen, he's the captain there at Rocklands. He looks like he's been there a while. But a fantastic man, great gentleman, leadership skills.
Yeah, I could just hear the way he was speaking now, JP, that definitely it's good to have a leader like that. You know,
yeah.
He can really inspire the youngsters, and just from hearing now what he said and the way forward for them. So there's something going on there with the club.
But when you have leadership like that it shows people who are not insecure with themselves. They really seem comfortable. And they clearly have the respect of the community. I mean, to have guys like Pat van der Westhuizen as the captain, and we have lots of leadership skills like that in the club rugby. I mean, the captains that we've spoken to, winning or losing, without fail, have been of above standard level. They've stood out as leaders, not only at the club, but as leaders in their community.
Yeah, normally, JP, the clubs are quite good with that. And I mean, there's always the guy that the community can look up to. He's like the guy that keep the youngsters on track and try to do the right things, live his life like to inspire other people to be like him. Doesn't matter where they come from. So they always seems to find a person like that.
And you would of course hope that guys like that, that their energy and passion and leadership skills spills over to the younger generation.
Yeah, normally JP, guys like that, they become chairmen or presidents of the club, so it's also good. They stick with the club.
Let's look at the results now from Division 2 and Division 3. Well, again, Atlantis, 16-11 over Blue Stars. Violets, massive result for them, beating Temperance, 66 points to 3. Masipumulele beating Whistling Wheels, 40 points to 9. And the Paarl region was Violets drawing with Vineyards, Riverstones losing to Lower Paarl, 35-21, and Albions losing to Allendale. Mr. H, Masipumulele are just going from strength to strength week after week.
Yeah, President Bobby Skinstead.
President Bob Skinstead. Well, what is it? I mean, is it just because they're working hard, or is it because people like Bob are actually out there just showing a bit of support and a bit of confidence?
Yeah, there were a lot of community support out there in that area, and they do work hard.
Yeah.
The guys that come in there, that work with them, you can see, you know, they're passionate about their team.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of work at ground level, school level. So, yeah, that's great for them.
What happened in this match? Violet 66-3 over Temperance.
I think Temperance didn't get off the bus.
Didn't get off the bus?
No, they didn't.
Jerome, this sounds to me a little bit like Bishops is hiding that they got over the weekend. What? They lost something like 80 points to 6?
80 points to 5.
80 points to 5, it's even worse.
No, I'm not.
Didn't he say coach step?
No. I said,
That's what they called him in.
no, I went to.
So Bishops lost.
Yeah.
Bishops, the mighty Bishops?
Yeah.
I don't want to be negative about Bishops, I mean, but I mean, who did they play?
They've played against Paul Boys.
So what is going on there? How can you have such a big score between two schools that were always the leading schools in South Africa, rugby playing schools?
Yeah, JP, I think that they were always one of the strongest teams, especially in the southern suburbs. But for the last 2 years now, they really struggle. And you know the story where they had this post-matrics playing for them.
Yeah.
And now they're not there anymore. So they're battling a bit. So I think they need to build from under 15, under 16.
Is there a size difference? People always say the Afrikaans schools are so much bigger.
No, they're definitely bigger, JP, but it all comes down to coaching.
I mean, I've been out to Paarl, where I went to watch a nativity play, which is, you know, the old sub A, sub B, and there was an angel on the stage that was 6'5". But I suppose they feed them from a young age there. Mr. H, can we get the camera, Mr. H?
Where you get that big angel?
I don't know where they got the uniform for this angel with wings and everything, but he was on stage in the nativity play with the 3 wise men, which I clearly don't have on the show with me, the 3 wise men, but yeah, a 6'5" angel in grade 5. That was a bit scary. Let's look at the fan picks, and I must say the fan picks that came in this weekend, Ansel and April went absolutely bonkers. What a great job he's doing. The fan picks that came in this week, and Marvin Murray, I know you're watching us online right now. We will get to the Universal story at some other stage and what happened back in the 80s or the 90s, and we will cover that issue or that story. I don't know myself, but yes, we will talk about your old club. The folks that were sending in the fan picks and stuff, the contributions on the Cape Rugby Facebook page, folks, it's really well worth it. Go and check it out. There's some videos. I've got a picture. The video's there of Sonny Bill Williams wearing, I think, a Vineyards shirt or something to that effect. Was it a Vineyards shirt? Vineyards? Where would Sonny Bill Williams find a Vineyards shirt? Anyway, it's a video. He's actually...
Trick photography.
Trick photography. But it's an amazing amazing content on the Cape Rugby TV show Facebook page. Next week we're starting with the Vodacom I Love Western Province Club Rugby competition again. So you can get yourself ready to earn some points and win some great prizes. All right, there's tog bags up for grab, raincoats for the team, as well as sets of jerseys and water bottles, etc. We'll tell you more about that at a later stage. Let's look at those fan picks now. Ansel and April, of course, was leading the way there. Elsie's up against Northerns there, featuring Bradley Green in the air. Nice picture there. In the next picture, Shamil Matez in the match between Silvertree and Franz Hoek. Shamil Matez is the ball carrier, and Shadley Hartstyler was the scrum half. What surprises me most about this picture is that Shamil Matez sent the picture in, but he was also in the picture. Must have had his twin brother with the same name taking the picture then. Congratulations there, nice picture, and also a great picture here, also sent in by Ansel and April in the match between Elsies and Northerns, featuring Colin Saul, the ball carrier. Lovely to get these players' names out there, folks, so we know who our community players are. Colin Saul is the ball carrier, and it looks like he's passing on there to Jenkin Haynes. Great fan pick. Claude Fisher sent in a picture here of the boys playing Tygerberg against False Bay, and featuring Angela McKaiser at number 13 for False Bay, and Kavina Mabula and Ian Knowles in the picture as well. Claude, thank you very much for that picture. Great action shot in that match between Tygerberg and False Bay. Ansel and April, another picture there from Elsie's second team this time against Northern's second team. Ball carrier there is Grant Lesh. Looks like he's getting some forward momentum. So more pictures in, then also Morne van Neel, the jumper there, again in that match, Elsie's versus Northerns. And well, I don't know how many more pictures we've got here from Ansel. Ansel's clearly looking to get a job as a photographer somewhere. Should be, because look at the quality of this karate kick picture. Ryan from the Northern scrum off just clearing the ball there. That was in the third team. So nice to have pictures coming coming in from all of the various divisions, the first team, the second team, and the third team. Keep sending in those pictures, folks, especially, and don't forget on Twitter. Share them on Twitter as well. Lovely to get those pictures in, and lovely to mention the players' names so we can see who they are and what the scores are. Of course, one of our biggest supporters during the course of the year so far has been Mesa. It's time for our Mesa competition now. Get your cell phone handy. The number you're SMSing to now is 33280, and the word is Mesa. Mesa is the official IT supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. And the DHL Stormers all have laptops courtesy of Mesa where they check out their drills and their moves. Last week, of course, we gave away a Mesa keyboard PC. And you'll remember not so long ago I had that keyboard PC with me on the show. And all you need to do is plug the keyboard into a monitor and it works like a computer. So the whole computer is in the keyboard. Mesa are being kind enough to throw in a monitor and a mouse for you along with it. Last week's winner was Demesia Humphreys. Congratulations, Demesia. You win for yourself that keyboard PC courtesy of Mesa. This week's prize up for grabs is the Mesa Express Slate Tablet PC. You want to win this with an Atom N450 166 GHz processor, 2 GB of DDR2 RAM memory, a 32 GB solid-state hard drive. This is the Mesa Express Slate Tablet PC. All you need to do to win this tablet PC, remember that name, it's a tablet, but it's very much the same as an iPad, in case you're not really sure what it is. You want to win this prize, SMS right now the word Mesa, who is of course the official IT supplier to the DHL Stormers. Just SMS your answer and the name to 33280, 33280, and you could win yourself that Mesa tablet. Once again, the number is 33280, and you can put yourself in line to win that Mesa tablet. There has been a fallout recently between Apple and Samsung, and Apple are saying that Samsung cannot copy because everybody just thinks that all these things are iPads. So a lot of people are getting confused. In this case, it's a tablet, very much the same as an iPad. So 33280, send that word Mesa. It's time for us to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll put the Union on the spot and we'll see what's happening in club rugby. Welcome back, folks. Now for time for Union on the spot. Mr. H, simple question, because over the last few years we've always had people say the Union does nothing for club rugby. That seems to have changed. What are you doing for club rugby?
Maybe we are doing a lot of things at the moment.
Yep.
One of the things that will start next week, I think, is the Vodacom I Love Club Rugby campaign. The clubs are going to benefit. And then we also have seminars for all those guys that want to learn more about networks and how they can build their club's communication systems.
Which is, of course, important if you want to get sponsors.
Of course. And then, you know, also to make them aware of how to communicate, not only with their own players and their own, but with the rest of the rugby world.
Jerome, you're part of the Union. What have you been up to? I've got to check on your job here now. Have you been doing your job?
Yeah, we just finished with the set of trials now, JP. We had the southern suburbs. We divided the Union into regions. So the southern suburbs trials were done. Northern suburb trials were done, and then we had the countryside, which is Stellenbosch and all the clubs from that side. And we selected, out of them, we selected 26 players now for the under-21 squad, which all the non-contracted guys. So every Monday I'm busy with them to prepare them if they got called up to go play under-21. So we're busy with them now, and also we're going to play a game against the Boland under-21 side, and then as a final trial game we're going to play against the province contracted guys, so that Dobson and his management team can see which guys we've got, and if they need guys they can pull them up from that system.
One of the other questions we got in on Facebook was about scouts. Just quickly, very short, how does the scouting system, talent identification process work in Western Province? Do you feel you've got enough scouts out there?
Yeah, I feel we've got enough guys now, JP, and the guys are going out every Saturday to games. And the clubs know the guys are visible there. We've got 8 guys at different games, and I myself go every Saturday, and then Mondays they feedback names to me, which we already got 40 names out of all the clubs now. Yeah. So we hope to get 60 names. And at the end of June, we're going to play a trial game with these guys, which are going to form part of the province amateur side.
Okay, well, it sounds like you guys have got your work cut out for you. You've got a lot of players out there and you've got to find the best. We did get a question on Facebook to please have a look at the Western Province Club Rugby site on the chat zone, where there was a very positive feedback from a Madeira 03. This is now on the Western Province Club Rugby chat zone, where a lot of people go and express their thoughts. It's a very, very good place for you to go and talk about club rugby. That's on the chat zone on the Western Province Club Rugby website. Of course, there's Facebook and other things in that now where you can also express yourself, but the chat zone is a good, solid place to post your topics within each other. Home game, Langa versus Rangers. Madeira went to say that felt like was walking into my own house. It was amazing to see young and old gather to watch a good and physical game. It was amazing to see the example set by Rangers support, who cheered for the good and laughed at the mistakes and frustrated by the one or two calls which went against them. Positive news from Rangers supporters there, and even more positive is that teams like Langa are out there commending such great performance. The thing that we now want to turn our attention to, and I think this is where things are going to, before we go to our leisure hotels competition, and the comments that came in was just overwhelming, the amount of people, and it's now time for us to address this matter, the matter of the Springboks team selection. Without a doubt, there was probably very few people in South Africa who said that when that Springbok team was announced, Siya Kolisi should have been in that team. We went on then to find out that Gio Aplon is not in the team. Jean de Jong is not in the team. I had some journalists saying, well, when Peter de Villiers was coaching the team, he didn't have those players in the team for the World Cup final either. Well, the interesting thing is, of course, you don't have that many opportunities to give players opportunity. Win or lose, when this man was in charge, we at least felt like we had a chance. It seems to me that we've gone and successfully divided the nation again now. We now have, on Facebook, so many more All Black supporters returning. Listening to the radio today, I had people saying to me that they had consciously made an effort, not saying to me, but on the radio, they had consciously made an effort to get behind the Springboks, to change their ways and walk away from supporting other teams, that they'd now become Springbok supporters again. But on Saturday night, when they heard the announcement of that team, they turned their back on the Springboks and went back to supporting the All Blacks. Gentlemen, without putting you in a spot here, and knowing that the comments that came in on Facebook on this matter, Mr. H, where do we stand? Did we go backwards? Is it something we just have to be patient with? Or did we manage to divide the country now?
There are two things. First of all, I want to commend Peter on his book, and I want to say, like it was said there tonight, it's the honest truth. And the other thing about this man that everybody, loves to hate, tonight he showed what a great human being he is. Right? Somebody asked him, what would you do if you are the Stormers coach? Obviously hoping to get a negative answer. Peter said, the Stormers are at the #1 position in South Africa. Why should I go and interfere there? They asked him, do you support the Springboks though? He said, I will support the Springboks because I'm a South African. And, that's how he feels about it.
Morgan, let me come.
Let me just say this quickly. The South African team, like any team, is signed off by the people who sits right at the top. Meyer didn't pick himself as the coach of South Africa. He was appointed by certain people. They signed off the Springbok team.
I get the feeling he was appointed 4 years ago and he just had to wait.
Well, that also, but
anyway, yes.
Whoever signs off the team mustn't come and cry outside to the parliamentarians and the other politicians and say, we're struggling with transformation. You had the opportunity, you missed it.
You agree, Jerome?
Yeah, definitely. It is a disgrace, as Mr. H said there. I mean, he's not just the best loose forward for me in South Africa. He's currently the best loose forward in Super Rugby. And he deserves to be at least in the squad. So he proved over again.
Would you have picked Sia?
I would have picked him without a doubt, starting.
Morgan, well, folks, we're going to take a little ad break, and when we come back, we're going to delve further into this. You can jump onto Facebook at www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, where you can still. There's a little vote poll there, and we're going to tell you about that vote poll in a minute. But we'll take a short break, and we'll come back and carry on with this discussion about the situation with the Springbok selection, where clearly there are so many thousands and thousands of people out there who felt they finally had an opportunity, who now feel that they've been let down, and now we're back to square one again. We'll be back with you in a moment. Really, the amount of comments that came in on Facebook. Leander Rose, your cover yesterday on the Club Rugby was poor. We're working on it, Leander. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, but we weren't on yesterday. Change the name of the Springbok team to the Springbuller. Time to go black. I'm furious because the Bokke should be called the Pink Bokke. Yassine Olifant for the Bok management have been saying for the past 2 months the best players don't always make the best team, so selection was such a big surprise. Hard luck for Gio and Johan. They will be in the squad sooner or later, and the continued comments just keep on rolling. The vote poll gave you 3 options. The first option was, are you happy with the selection, or has... the first option was, I'm very unhappy the selection divided rugby supporters. The second option was, how can you select most of the players from one province? Oh, somebody added that in. This is the first time in my life that I'm not supporting the Boks. Too much radical change to the Springbok side, back to the time of the Boer. All right, so a lot of different comments coming in here, but in the vast majority, I'm very unhappy the selection has divided the rugby supporters. Morgan, you played for the Springboks yourself. During your era and Peter de Villiers' era, many players got given an opportunity that perhaps weren't going to play for the Springbok for the next few years. But a lot of guys came in and were given a shot. Surely that's the right thing to do in South Africa, because without that shot, you lose the support of South Africa. Or is winning and losing all that matters?
Look, James, there are 2 arguments there. I think the number one, obviously, with Heineke coming in, for him at the moment, to what he feels, obviously, to win over the country is to win at all costs. So I reckon he's definitely gone, I mean, contrary to popular belief, he's gone with what he believes is the best side to just get a result.
So he believes that if you win the rugby, you'll have the support of the nation.
Yeah,
because that's what Rassie Erasmus used to believe.
Yeah, I mean, look, that is I think a very, to call it a bit of an old school belief. But yeah, I mean, a lot of coaches do believe that, and I think Heineke's, I mean, with his selection has shown that. But for me, James, the big surprise has just been the likes of Gio and Johan. I mean, yes, Sia's a great player, and I think his time will come.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you look at guys like Gio and Johan, then I think their time has come. Their time is now, if you know what I mean. Like, not only through the fact that they seasoned Springboks, if you want to call it that now, and I mean, their performances to the Super 15 have shown that I mean, they've been the best attacking options that throughout the South African teams, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, these guys are good attacking options, and to select a guy like Wynand ahead of Johan.
You know, I just get the feeling, though, that, you know, like Mr. H said, these decisions are signed off by the employers of the coach. He doesn't make the decision on his own. Someone still has to approve and sign it off. Just like the Western Province rugby team, before it plays on the field, has to be signed off by the president. Any player that enters that field has been approved. Am I correct? That's the procedure. The Stormers and Western Province team does not take to the field unless every one of those players has been looked at by the president of the union. And he signs off and says, right, I want those players on, I'll put those guys in the field. But it seems that, like you say, common consensus is you had your chance to contribute to transformation here at the expense maybe of losing 1 or 2 games. You could have had the support of the nation. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Simple as that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, James, I must, just to add something quickly, is the fact that as much as Peter gave guys an opportunity, I think the guys that he gave an opportunity to, he had belief in. And I mean, they've repaid him tenfold in their belief. I mean, you look at guys like Chile Boylarepe, look at his performances for the Bulls of late. I mean, you look at guys like Johan, who gave a chance. You gave a guy like Gio a chance. And all these guys have come through the ranks and now shown that, I mean, initially everyone sort of made a big hype about how can he select these guys. And now, you know, sort of Heineke could have reaped the rewards of Peter's risk that he took.
Yes.
And he's not, you know. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's up for debate. But
Because
I mean,
Peter
really,
took a massive risk on some of those players.
Yeah, I mean, you look at guys like Chili Boy and Gio, he took a risk with them. And
Lambi, youngster.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
Look, we're running out of time. Leisure Hotels, okay, folks, we're putting that to bed. Public consensus is this was a political mistake. Well, unfortunately, this is South Africa, Heineke, and sometimes you have to maybe put the interests of the population. And let me guarantee you that communities is the rugby population in South Africa. Sometimes you need to put the interests of the population before the gold. Leisure Hotels is our keen accommodation supplier and sponsor here at Cape Rugby TV. You want to win yourself a night's accommodation at the Leisure Hotels? All you need to do is SMS the word leisure and your name to 33280. Last week's winner was Carlton Quipman. Congratulations to Carlton. You win yourself one night's accommodation, bed and breakfast at the Strand Towers. You want to put yourself in the mix to win? SMS right now the word leisure and your name to 33280. Time for us to now to look at the weekend fixtures coming up. Super League A. Bellahar are up against Durban. They're playing at Accordion Park. And SK Warmers take on Villagers. Tigerberg are up against Hamiltons. In Super League B, it's Belleville and NNK, Brackenfell and Helderberg, Hands and Hearts and Primrose, Kales River and Collegians, Pernell Villagers up against Goodwood. The big one this weekend, yes, of course, we know Bellahar and Durban Jerome. That's going to be a big one. SK Warmers and Villagers, Tigerberg and Hammies. Your pick of those three?
Yeah, I think Durban are really on a roll, so I think yeah, there's going to be a
big one.
I'll go give it to Durban.
We're of course going this week, Mr. H, to Belleville up against NNK. That is going to be a monster match.
Yeah, JP, and I don't know, for some other reason, wherever Cape TV is, the home side normally wins. I think like Rocklands win this weekend. Hands and Hearts beat Kales River there, so it's easy.
So it's Belleville against NNK?
Are you sure you must go there? You will.
I'm definitely sure, because tell me something. I can tell you something. Belleville against NNK.
You know that Koos Power is.
Yes, I know. But I'm going in disguise as something. If I get to that game and you don't have a hot dog for me, I'm going to be upset, huh? All right. I'm going to Belleville just to see Koos. All right. But it's going to be a cracker game, folks. Come and say hello to us. If you're out in the field, come say hello, man. It's so lekker talking to you when we're out there. Morgan, that is always the pleasure, though. That was your
Yeah, James, walking there on Saturday at Rocklands, I'd never been there before. People knew we were. They all knew Cape Rugby TV. No, it's awesome, man. I mean, come and share your views. If you don't want to use Twitter, you don't want to use Facebook,
just say
come and shake our hand and come share your views verbally.
You can even come and get Mr. H's autograph, all right? I'm waiting for people to get Mr. H's autograph.
Mr. H, Mr. T, wherever.
Mr. H, Mr. T, you love him, you love you not, or whatever. Okay, so folks, that's where Cape Rugby TV is this weekend. It's Belleville and NNK. It's going to be a monster match at Belleville's home ground. Let's look at the fixtures now for Premier League A. Elsie's take on Paarl, Hamlet's take on Langa, Kraaifontein take on St. George's, Rangers take on UWC. In Premier League B, we've got Franschhoek up against Strand United, Laguna take on Solarians, Milnerton, Van der Stel, Silvertree and Yester River, and Stelkor and Macassar. Division 1, it's Borland up against Silverleaf. Wraithby take on Northerns. There's going to be a tough match there. Strand and Hamadias, Young Stars, Rocklands, Young Wesleys and Manenberg Rangers. In Division 2, it's All Saints and Violets, Atlantis and Watsonia. Carlmore take on Blue Stars. While in Division 3, it's Clittyville and Peninsula at Clittyville. Masipamulele taking Perseverance. Strand Pioneers up against Young Ideas. Whistling Wheels and Caledonian Roses, Young Brothers and Retreat. While in Division 4, we see Bishop Labours take on Imikawi. City Progress up against Delft, and Richmond Rangers take on Thistle. And in the Paarl region, we've got Allendale, Simondium, Lower Paarl up against Violets, Barrel United, Riverstones, Vineyards and Paarl, Windfield United, and Albions and Young Standards up against Young Gardens. Colour tone is, of course, our White Line Fever marker hamper of choice. You want to put the white lines around your field? All you need to do now is SMS the word colour tone to 33280. You can put yourself in the mix to win yourself a colour tone hamper. Last week's winner was Macassar RFC, Macassar Rugby Football Club. Congratulations, you win for yourself that white line hamper courtesy of Colour Tone Paints. We're running dangerously close to the end of the show now, very tight. We're looking forward to a very exciting club rugby weekend, especially this match, NNK against Belleville.
Yeah, James, it's coming to the end now. We sort of 2 or 3 more games before the end of the first round. So yeah, things are heating up. I think a lot of the teams want to sort of, end up close to the top or at the top, sort of securing safety for next for the second half of the year.
Right, folks, there we go. It's Bellville against NNK. That's where the Cape Rugby team will be. Jerome, Morgan, Mr. H. It's been a tough show. Of course, our emotions are on the table. And we wish the folks out there in the world of Cape Rugby the very best. We'll see you at NNK against Bellville. From next week onwards, back to Super Brew. Have a great rugby weekend. See you at Bellville on Saturday. Bye-bye.